the Antifa rioters' future. So if you're deciding about your future, and maybe you're a young strapping lad from Portland, or gal, and you
Is
think...
there such a thing?
Maybe you're a weak, fragile lad from Portland, or a buff gal.
If you have if you have unusually low soy levels in Portland,
And you're thinking about, what if I go and join those Antifa chaps and smash some things up? That'll make my future go well. Well, here's a warning. It doesn't. It really don't. And this is just a segment where I'm going to go through Andy No's reporting. And Andy No just some fantastic work on this. Just to mention first, of course, the book club we did together, me and Andy, on his Antifa Unmasked book about all of that in Portland and how it went down and how the state, well, allowed it to go down until it happened at their house. But we now have, as he does his great reporting, just updates on what happened to those people. So we have an individual first here, a Portland area far-left paedophile. I feel like I've repeated myself
you
somewhere.
could have just said Portland, man.
Portland area, far-left, paedophile, I don't know. I don't want to smirch everyone in Portland, but the far-left guys, yep, definitely.
I feel like this isn't as unusual as it should be over there.
No, has been arrested in Vancouver, Washington for alleged child sex crimes and urinating in the milkshake mixture served to people in the Arby's where he worked. Detectives are asking potential victims to come forward. That is awful.
That's horrible.
That is just disgusting.
And
on
coming
every
from
level.
such a strapping young lad as you described right there, this man I see in his physiognomy, he would never do anything wrong.
No. Another warning to anyone, don't hire far-left employees. Do a background check. It's as simple as checking up on their social media accounts. And if there's some kind of communist with Black Lives Matter in the logo, they might piss in your milkshake mixture. So don't do it.
They will reveal themselves very easily. They will have a nice hammer and sickle. I mean, look at all the hashtags in the bio right there. F the police, BLM, F Trump.
It would have been easy to know if you were hiring at Arby's not to hire that guy, but they went for it. They also go on to say, if you scroll down on that one, Andy just says, Stephen Sartin Sharp, the Portland area far-left paedophile who allegedly disputed child porn and contaminated milkshakes with his urine, has a long history of expressing extreme hatred of law enforcement, and he was also a big supporter of BLM and hated the Proud Boys group in Portland as well. I'm shook. I'm shook that this young lad
surprise.
turned out to be
Such an upstanding young gentleman.
joined the far left. It turns out to be a pedo and also pisses in people's milkshakes. Who saw that coming? But we have an update of what has happened to him. So if we go to the next link, we have update. Sharp pleaded guilty to possessing child sexual content and urinating into the shakes that many have been served. Which, imagine being in the courthouse. I mean, of all the character witnesses you could call forward, nothing is going to make up for that. I mean, not to mention, even if we take the child porn off the table, it's just like, this dude pissed in people's milkshakes. Jail.
This is horrible. Why?
You're a prick. He was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison on Monday. Not enough.
That's it.
No, but at least he's getting prison. A local health director said there is no significant risk to consuming the urine-tainted milkshakes.
Wait, so is they suggesting they might be still out there?
Probably people who had, figured out that happened to them and then complaining, seeking damages. I think you're entitled to damages from Arby's for sure.
Yeah,
even if nothing happened to you.
I mean, Arby's hired this man.
Yeah, that's a dereliction of duty if there ever was one. Criminal negligence in your hiring practices, I'd say. But 5 years for that, not enough. Deserves more, but there you are. At least you're getting 5 years in jail. Enjoy your time. Not to mention all the rioting he engaged in, which I'm sure those charges will come to him. He's not the only one, though. There is another one who's been giving us an update on this. This perfectly sane individual, pictured here, standing on top of a fire that they've made on a park bench.
I trust this person's judgment.
Yeah. After burning up a stolen mattress, Antifa have set up a wooden table from the restaurant on fire. Peter Curtis, aka Tabitha Poppins, who was arrested and charged last night, is back on to the riot tonight. Hashtag Portland riot, hashtag Antifa, because of course these people just were let out endlessly. They would get arrested for the 20th time that week, and the Attorney General, who is a Democrat, and the Governor, who is a Democrat, would be like, that's a schmuckums, don't do it again, and send them out.
A little pat on the butt as they go out. Oh,
yeah.
Good luck.
Almost always no bail, either. Nothing. And even if there is bail, it's like $1,000.
Well, yeah, even if it's 50 grand, someone will come out of the woodwork out of nowhere and just like, here's 50 grand for you.
Yeah, so even if you have millions, they'll come and pay for it. If you go to the next link here, we can see No reporting the update here, which is that a Portland trans Antifa famous for her 5 o'clock shadow. Brilliant writing.
Clown world.
And dresses has been charged over an attack on a subway. Peter Curtis, aka Tabitha Poppins, was previously arrested 5 times at riots last year and had every charge dropped. Fantastic. Remember, this is how the world worked, which is that this individual could engage in multiple instances of rioting, and with a big smug grin on their face would just go out and continue assaulting people, because there just is no justice in Democrat zones. In the slightest, apparently. However, some news did break. This Portland rioter may not be living their best life anymore. They may not be living anymore. Here's the news. Breaking update on Portland Antifa trans rioter believed to be dead. Antifa organised a search and rescue mission at Collins Beach to find Tabitha, who went missing in the water on Monday. They seem to imply that they won't involve the law enforcement if they find a body.
Well, let's be honest, when you've got protesters like this, it's a 50-50 chance almost.
Yeah. There's a quote from the character of Curtis. She, I don't know why Andy writes that, but she allegedly neglected her children she fathered. Okay, I see why you wrote it, because it's funny. She neglected her children that she fathered. That's a brilliant sentence. From a prior marriage to become a full-time protester, her ex stated that there was immediate danger in the custody filing. Fantastic. A wonderful individual.
This person, the pictures on the right, so I assume the mug shots, they just look evil.
Can we click on
He
those?
looks evil.
I love by the fourth one. You can see the beard growing in
You
between.
see the beard. His stubble has been growing between mug shots.
Which, I don't know what kind of magic that is, but that's what's happening on screen.
I'm sorry, if a person is pulling this face during a mug shot, he is not intending to return to a life of law and order.
No, never were. I think the clothes have changed in there, so yeah, it is some days apart at least.
Yeah.
But was a professional protester, as they say. Decided to not father his own kids because he's a great guy, taking after. I think it wasn't Karl. Karl Marx do that? I know Rousseau was an asshole to his kids.
Rousseau was an asshole. Marx actually did try and look after his kids, so can't really fault him too much for that one. But
his views on the
this guy decided to not look after his kids and go to random subways, presumably to beat women with his footlong.
Yep.
Make of that what you will.
And is now dead, because if you go to the next link, we have the police found the body, and update here. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office has confirmed that the body of a man, yes, because the police in America are not as perverse as our ones, found in Columbia River on September 24th, near Warrior Rock, is Tabitha Curtis. There you are.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no sympathy.
I don't care either. Portland Antifa members tried but failed to find his body, using a pet dog and drones. Again, another example of why Antifa are just crap. I mean, there's no good stories from Antifa. I mean, like 4chan, for all the white supremacy you get there, are actually skilled. They're also incredibly diverse, which kind of puts a hole in the white supremacy, but whatever. Like, you've seen the
As long as
meetups.
they're all racist, bro.
Yeah, do you remember that He Will Not Divide Us? And there was a meetup from the people there, and it was a big swath of all kinds of cultures and races, all shaking hands about how, yes, we must...
We must stay divided.
Whereas, there's cool stories of them finding the flag, bombing ISIS in Syria, as I've mentioned before, etc., etc. Antifa can't even find a body. There's one of their own members. And presumably they're involved with the death, frankly. I'm not even buying that they weren't.
Antifa, as far as I can tell, are just opportunists. They're just random people who obviously want to indulge in the most decadent lifestyle imaginable for as long as possible. And they've just jumped onto this political movement because it gives them the right... Well, it gives them the supposed right to do so. It's very easy.
Maybe. I mean, some of them are true believers. The next guy is definitely a true believer because he gave his life for it, which is...
Well, I think the reason that they're true believers is because it's an ideology that explicitly says, yes, be a degenerate.
Maybe. If we go to the next one here, I don't think I can disprove you hugely on this. Another guy, Antifa member Anthony A. Amos, was one of the Black Bloc militants at the Antifa direct action in Salem, Oregon. Earlier today, he pleaded guilty last week in federal court for doing over $164,000 worth of damages to the courthouse in Portland. He also tried to get my book banned, Andy writes. Andy's book being Antifa Unmasked, as previously mentioned, which I believe now is actually out in Portuguese. He's released it for Brazil, which is all kinds of funny. But yeah.
Sorry, go back to that first one for a second. I thought he was trying to hide behind that unsuccessfully. Gonna need a bigger flag, bro.
Yeah, not the best looking chap again. I mean, the bio-Leninism thing of it seems to be the ugliest people that are drawn to this. It definitely seems to hold true as well. This dude apparently would just throw rocks at the windows of the courthouse and just smashed as many as possible, 60 grand's worth.
What do you expect to happen?
Yeah, if you go to the next one here, there's just a Millennial article just listing over the 40 projectiles that he threw at the courthouse with his big packet of rocks, which he's very proud of. Anyway, here's a less fun one, in which the individual certainly gave up his life, or at least his future. If we go to the next one here, we have Malik Mohammed, the Molotov thrower of peace.
So did you say Malik or Manic?
I saw Malik there.
Manic Mohammed.
Malik Mohammed probably is going to be his nickname. But you can see there, he threw Molotov cocktails in this clip at the police because he wanted peace. Yeah, there we are.
It's a Molotov of peace, bro.
Nobody was killed, or my understanding is seriously injured from that. There is a copper who has his foot set on fire, but he's managed to put it out.
Oh, that's
or
all
at
right,
least
then.
someone helped him to put it out. But there we are, remember? Just a myth, bro, as it was said. Malik Mohammed received tactical training in Louisville with far-left violent extremist groups. He was in the possession of a cache of weapons for self-defense that included bomb components for self-defense. He was going to bomb any intruders into his home. Yeah, sure. A shotgun, 2 auto rifles, which he was going to shoot at the same time, a pistol and ammunition, which he was all carrying on him at the time for reasons.
And he also met the Indiana governor previously.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, bro, don't worry, I got it. I'll just bomb the rightists.
It's almost like Democrats just approve of this stuff, whether they say it explicitly or not.
Yeah. Update on him. What's happened to him? Get the next link. Portland Antifa member Malik Mohammed pleaded guilty in March to 14 state felonies, including 2 accounts of attempted murder and manufacturing bombs.
Well, it's not like we've got footage of him throwing a Molotov at a crowd of police officers.
No, it's not like we got it multiple times. Or
He just keeps doing it.
arresting him with the bombs, the bomb-making parts, and an instruction manual on how to make bombs, and a confession note saying, I made the bombs, I'm going to bomb them, I've done the bombing.
God, I love bombing. It's my favourite pastime.
What else will I do if there wasn't bombing? Malik Mohammed, signed, dated, notarized.
Thumbprint.
There's no even attempt to not get caught, apparently. As well as 2 federal felonies, his original bail was set at $2.1 million US, which was covered by Antifa supporters.
And there it is.
How?
It doesn't matter how much bail you put, because Antifa supporters will include a lot of very rich, very influential people.
The vice president.
For instance.
Small-time people.
Yeah,
Nothing
just very, very small-time people. You know, most of Hollywood.
Yeah. $2.1 million for this dude. Really? I mean, you've got the footage of him trying to kill police officers with Molotovs, and you're like, yeah, we'll pay the bill.
They even had the little thing of free Malik. Come on, guys. All he did was try and murder a few people. What's wrong about that?
Jesus Christ. There is no money charge big enough that they won't pay.
Do you see why we need to politically destroy these people and their supporters?
No, why should we just let them take power? What could happen?
So
like
I wouldn't want to use state power to destroy these people literally trying to murder me.
It's not like they're saying they will murder all of us. No.
Just some of us.
No, it will be all of us.
Yeah.
If we go to the next link here, we also have serial riot arrestee Aubrey Quinn Ward was among the 5 charged of a child sex sting in Washington County, Oregon. It's amazing how of Andy's updates on his Twitter and Getter page, he just tells you very often, yeah, it's for child sexual stuff. Every goddamn time. We have Quinn there on the top right.
Notice these people will have been involved in other violent acts as well. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. The lineup there is not looking good. Yeah, the face of Antifa right there. But these people will have been involved in other violent crimes. They'll have done things like the Molotovs, like all that.
Yep.
And they don't get done for that. I mean, good that they get done for the child sex things, but why did it have to get to that point?
Unfortunate news in this one, though. A judge quickly allowed him to be released without bail. He's been caught in a nonce sting. And he's like, and the judge is like, "Well, go on your merry way."
Okay, so the judge is complicit.
Yeah, this is justice in Portland. I burned down the courthouse, and I don't care. Like, if this is what the courthouse represents, but presumably the people there are not doing this. Just this guy. He allegedly thought he was meeting a child for sex when he got arrested. This Antifa member here. I do love how the joke, though. You remember when Carl Rittenhouse shot a group of people who were trying to kill him, and he mysteriously managed to hit a nonce and kill them, and also what was a wife beater.
Yes.
You fire into a crowd of Antifa and you will kill a nonce. It seems to be that was the experience of one guy, and also seems to be the experience of the arrests limits, which is if you pick up any file.
Yeah, what we found out from that is literally the Antifa is almost 50-50 split of nonces and male feminists.
Yeah, and that coincidence, coinky-dink, it doesn't end. If Because the next link here, Andy does his own streams now on Getter, and this is him doing his weekly notice, or weekly nonce update, I suppose, as he tells you about Antifa, and this one, again, is another guy who's a BLM pedo. I'm not even joking. Let's play. If we can play, John.
There is a self-described anti-fascist activist who's based in Minnesota named Lucas Allen Dietsche. This is from his LinkedIn account. His pronouns are him, he, and comrade. It was discovered and first reported out by Antifa Watch that he is a convicted child sex offender. So he spent over 2 years in prison for the conviction, and now is a left-wing Antifa communist activist in the city of, was it Mankato, Minnesota, which I think is in the south of the state. It's him from his Instagram, the BLM communist fist, him posing with the communist flag.
I do love how just like worn out Andy sounds sometimes, because he's just looked at so much of it. It's like, yeah, here's a nonce.
The man's been
attacked.
attacked. The man has been attacked and hounded for years over stuff like this.
Yeah, but like all he does is just like, hey, here's the left. Here's an image. What you want to guess? Yeah, nonce. Yeah, I know. Every time, every goddamn time. Speaking of which, well, you must remember the age of 2016 of Milenopolis on campus and Antifa beating up Proud Boys on the streets. That's long since gone, isn't it? That's not a thing anymore. So what does Antifa spend their time doing now in the age of Joe Biden, their hero?
Is it surely beating up the so-called domestic terrorists that the FBI pointed out to everybody earlier this year?
Indeed, they spend their time defending groomers. It is unironically what they spend their energy and lives doing now.
Yeah, there was the one earlier I think it was last month that we covered, where there was the Texas drag queen story hour show or something where Antifa showed up to provide defense for them.
So yeah, some people turning up here. So this is a drag queen event in some local library, presumably funded by the taxpayer as well. And people saying, no, don't do this to kids. What's wrong with you? And Antifa turned up to make sure that the groomers were defended from people saying, don't do that. That's what they were willing to spend their lives doing now. There's also the next link here, which is even funnier. A drag event at a First Christian Church, as they call themselves, the church, in Texas, was a fundraiser for a transparent closet. It's a clothing boutique for trans children and youth. Because, there's a lot of need for that. Antifa, an explicitly anti-Christian movement, allied itself with the church to oppose the right-wing protesters who insisted this didn't go ahead.
Clown world.
I love it. I could not be more transparent. The anti-Christian communists have turned up and allied with the churches. I mean, if you needed a sign that the churches are some kind of... I laugh at the old, Christians from, the early 2000s being like, well, this is all Satanism, but... Oh, yeah.
And now they're going, this is all Satanism, and that's a good thing.
I don't know what to say.
Break out the horns, boys.
The next link, we have them clashing with absolute randos just outside. This is what Antifa are willing to now engage violence over, trying to defend drag queen story out for kids. Fantastic.
These queers bash back.
Okay. I enjoy your jail time after this, I guess, because the tide is turning on that as well.
Get prepared to get bashed in prison, I suppose.
That too. If we go to the next one here, with your fellow drag queen. We also have them going after Andy himself as well. This is some footage that was released at the Post Millennial of a child drag center, a child transitioning center, where they were talking about how the wonderful work they do totally isn't sick. And the response was that the guys running the place wrote a letter to Post Millennial being like, take it down. Like, why? Aren't you proud of this?
Is this not something that you stand by? I mean, you're all experts, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's another good news, which is we keep getting these stories occasionally where the left does turn around and say, cover that up, don't show people that. And it is good news to show that, well, the tide has turned significantly. If you go to the article itself, they go on to say in here that no, we have copyright restrictions on what you can put out. Our privacy has been violated. It's like, bro, but you live streamed it. You literally live streamed you guys talking about this on your social medias. There's no protection whatsoever.
They're very stupid because I don't think they ever try and cover this up because they know it's wrong. They cover it up because they know it looks bad.
Yeah. There's a quote in here. "The pathology isn't being trans," said one provider. "The pathology is the transphobia that the kids and their families are winding through this world. And so there's a mental health support if they really need that sort of thing." And it's like, dude, I love this from Ben Shapiro. It's the best stat. The problem is not... They argue that the problem is not the dysphoria, but this transphobic world we live in. And just the best one from Ben Shapiro is that, look, the suicide rate amongst people who are transgender is higher than Jews who were living under the Holocaust.
That's pretty impressive.
So unless you're going to say that people in modern America who say they're transgender are living worse lives than Jews under the Holocaust, it's not because of the conditions they live in. It is because of the dysphoria they experience. It's because of the actual problems of, well, living that. Whereas the people living in the Holocaust, yeah, may have had it a bit worse in terms of oppression than someone who's like, bro, you're a man, just stop.
Yeah. Affirmation therapy has been shown overwhelmingly when you actually look at it in a non-biased way to not really do much at all.
No. But there we are. There's your future if you're deciding, as a weak young lad who drinks the soy, wants to engage in Antifa terrorism. It's either prison time or you're going to end up defending groomers with your life, and in which case you'll be serving prison time with them.
And
Enjoy.
good riddance if you do.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium articles we do, this one on the struggle for control of America's national narrative from John Tangney, and there is also an audio track for silver and gold tiers, of course. If you want to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.